Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Motivational Moments. Sorry I wasn't able to broadcast yesterday at noon. One thing about going live on a weekly basis is that if you're somewhere where you don't have access to the internet or it's not working properly, that's called live TV. You have to punt. So that's why I scheduled it for today. Sometimes I pre-record the episodes, especially if I know for sure I'm not going to have internet service. So I may do some of those as well, just so that you don't miss a week or miss a Wednesday. But it is truly my pleasure to come to you every week for about 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, but just a short period of time to talk about women who have made a difference in the world, or something topical that relates to us that I think we can learn from. Because as women, I feel like we're all a work in progress, and we do our best to move forward in life and move through life's transitions in the best way possible. So thank you for joining me today. And the topic, which wasn't what I was planning on talking about, but because of yesterday's event, I decided to change the topic. And as you all know probably, that Madeline Albright had passed away yesterday at the age of 84. So I thought it was really appropriate to talk a little bit about Madeline and the things that she had done to overcome obstacles and negativity and make a difference in the world as a woman. So I looked her up, I looked on Wikipedia, I looked at different sources, and I'm not going to read all her credentials because you could certainly be doing that yourself, but I'm going to read some of them and then a couple fun things that you may or may not know about her. So let me give you a little bit of background of what I've learned. Okay, her full name is Madeline Jana Corbell Albright. Now that's a mouthful. And she was an American diplomat, as we know, who served as the 64th United States Secretary of State from 1997 to 2001 under President Bill Clinton. What's really important about that, or even more important about that, is that she was the first female Secretary of State in U.S. history. And I remember that time, and I thought, oh my gosh, how great is that? But I didn't know much about her, so I didn't know her credentials, but I figured President Clinton did. He's the one that decided that she'd be the next Secretary of State, and obviously it was a very good choice. But also, for those of you that may not know, that she actually was a refugee. She was an immigrant that came here with her family, and I believe it was 1948, from Czechoslovakia. So who better to serve than someone who is from an underprivileged environment and could really make something of herself. So after her tenure of being Secretary of State, she also was, let me get this right, the chairwoman of the National Democratic Institute for Internal Affairs in Washington. She did that from 2001 to her death. And she also taught at Georgetown University, which I did not know. She was an accomplished writer. She had written several books, and one of them in 2003 was her memoir entitled Madam Secretary, which is one I think I am going to buy. And she also worked in the private sector for a time. And then in 2012, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama. And what he said about her was really interesting. He said her toughness helped bring peace to the Balkans and pave the way for progress in some of the most unstable corners of the world. And this was in 2012. Boy, could we use her now, right? So that's a little bit of background that probably any one of you could research on your own, but I wanted to give you that as a framework to let you know where she came from, what she did, and how she moved forward in her life and in her career. I'm sure there's more other things that you can learn about Madeline, but those were kind of the highlights. Here is a fun fact, and I wanted to share this with you because it was something I always wondered about. But now I read about it and understand her method to her madness. Do you remember when she was interviewed she would wear different kind of brooches. And I thought, wow, she has bad taste. Or why is she wearing that bug pin? And I read, and I'm going to tell you about it. It's really cool. She was known for wearing brooches or decorative pins to convey her foreign policy messages. I had no idea. When she found out that the Russians had bugged the State Department, she wore a large bug pin. I remember that when the next time that she met with them. When Saddam Hussein referred to Albright as a snake, she took to wearing a gold snake pin. And then when she was called a witch, she proudly brandished a miniature broom. Wow, how cool is that? And how bold. She just didn't let anything or anybody get under her skin. She just wore her credentials and her values on her sleeve or on her chest. And I just thought that was a remarkable thing. And lastly, I didn't know how tall Madeline was. Not that it makes a difference, but I was kind of noticing that when she was next to Barack Obama or Bill Clinton or some of the other leaders in our world, that she was petite. But I found out she was only 4'11". Now, some of you may realize that I'm kind of short too, or petite as they say, and I'm 4'11" and 3/4. So anyway, I just thought, wow, what a powerhouse of a small, petite, wonderful, powerful, confident woman who came from a background of, fleeing, Czechoslovakia with her family and lived as a refugee. But look at where she has come and what she has done in her life. So I want to encourage all of you to do some research about Madeline Albright and other famous women and find out their stories. And that's what I like to tell. I love to tell stories about famous women and even not so famous women, women that have accomplished a lot in their own personal or professional life that we never really get to hear about. But I do love those stories. And that prompted me to actually produce, with my husband Stan, the first rendition of Women with Guts, which we did about 12 years ago, with Denise Brown, the sister of Nicole Brown Simpson, and Patty Gulick, my friend, who is still living with cerebral palsy, Rubiana Garza, who is a sexual abuse survivor and is a singer-songwriter, and also Dr. Connie Hahn, who was a cardiac surgeon and had brought herself up from the bootstraps of being a farmer's daughter and lived on the farm but wanted to be a doctor. So that was 12 years ago, but stay tuned because I'm getting ready to do the next series of Women with Guts. And one of the things I also will be doing is some sort of interview talk show where I will be interviewing women about their backgrounds and how they had moved forward through their lives and accomplished things through their life's transitions. What did they do to stay motivated? How did they get the confidence to do what they did and what they're doing now? So anyway, well, stay tuned. And that's one of the reasons that I've been asking for your email addresses, because not only do I want to have this as a venue, as Women with Guts, and it is our private community page, but I do want to start an email campaign so that you get newsletters and information and downloads and videos and things like that. So, and I am going to be doing a survey, but in the meantime, send me your email. Just go to, email me at debcottle.com or debcottle@gmail.com and just say, I'm here. This is my email. And I'd like to collect those. I probably have most of them anyway because I know most of you. But anyway, just do me a favor and do that. I'm going to send out a quick survey. I want to find out how I can best serve you. What do you need? What do you want? Do you want to have more products? Do you want to have like a custom journal for women with guts? Do you want to have more videos? Do you want to have CDs? Do you want to have a coffee mug that says Women with Guts? Do you want to have an online course where I can be teaching my 4-step guts formula? But really, it's all about you. I want to learn more about the needs and wants of my special group of women. So anyway, enough for now. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next Wednesday. So be safe, be dry. It's raining like crazy today, and I treasure the relationships that I have with all of you, and I appreciate your comments and your feedback. So thanks again. Bye.